We all know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but here in Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area, there are no secrets. And so I'm here to tell you today about love, Red Rock style. Spring has sprung, things have changed in Red Rock Canyon, and all the critters, all the animals from the smallest little hummingbird to our full-grown mule deer are experiencing some special feelings around springtime. It is an urge caused by the reproductive cycle inside of humans, inside of animals, inside of all kinds of critters that are running around here. And so today, I think I'll tell you a little bit about what some of our species, some of our neighbors, some of our lovely residents in Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area do generally around springtime, generally around mating season. Probably the most prolific and possibly the best known of our species here and throughout the world in terms of reproduction are our rabbits and hares. You know, the old saying goes, they breed like rabbits. Well, they breed like rabbits, and so in springtime, fall, summer, and winter, you name it, our rabbits are always feeling that springtime urge. Not all the animals are quite that way. The rabbits have that special knack of reproducing themselves so that no matter how many predators are out there, there will still be plenty of bunnies running around. But all of our animals here in Red Rock have a story to tell. A springtime story usually, but a mating story. And so today I will share with you some of those stories that we've experienced here in Red Rock Canyon. Tarantulas. Probably not everybody's favorite critter here in Red Rock Canyon. Some people don't like that spidery kind of approach, but they have a very interesting mating experience. Kind of scary, actually, for some of us. Seems the male tarantula spends an awful lot of time and expends a lot of energy in the fall looking for a mating partner, looking for that special someone in terms of tarantulas. And sometimes it's not the best idea. I see them scurry around and I feel like telling them, watch out, what you hope for might not be what you really want. That's because the male tarantula, having finally found a female of his joy and desire, will have a mating experience with the female, but all too often, some say up to 50% of the time, when their romantic interlude has concluded, the female tarantula turns around and eats the male. Be careful what you wish for. Tarantulas are also involved in the mating rituals of Pepsis. Now, we have a fabulous video out there about the Pepsis, also known as a tarantula hawk. I urge you to take a look at that. It's pretty darn interesting. To summarize the mating experience that combines those two species, the Pepsis will sting a tarantula, paralyzing that tarantula, and then will lay her eggs inside the tarantula. Not a happy time for the tarantula, certainly, but that's the Pepsis way of doing things, and that little wasp is able to keep the generations going thanks to the tarantulas. So maybe not everybody comes out here to see tarantulas, but a lot of people come out here to see our desert tortoise population. We've got quite a few desert tortoises out behind our visitor center, and the desert tortoises also have a very interesting story with their mating rituals. The males, that is, they fight over superiority. Fight? Desert tortoises? How does that work? You've seen them. They're big, they're bulky, they're slow, they're awkward, but they also have a fighting ritual that the males will indeed go through, and it is kind of violent. The males will wait for an opening. When that opening appears, one of the male desert tortoises will stick his head beneath the shell and lift his head, flipping the shell of the desert tortoise. So sure, they're pretty to look at, but beneath that harsh exterior shell, there is a lot of strategy with their mating season out here in Red Rock Canyon as well. Perhaps you've come out to Red Rock Canyon and hope to find a bighorn sheep. Well, we have them. You're probably not going to see them because they stay at higher elevations. But should you come here at certain times of the year, like the springtime, you will find a mating ritual that is something to be experienced. I've never seen it. I've never heard it, but those who have find it memorable. The two males will square off in battle. The battle features a head-on collision. The males will back up, they will face each other, and boom, they will run full speed into each other. Here in our canyons, you can hear the sound of the two male bighorn sheep colliding a mile or so away from the actual collision. Pretty dramatic from what I've heard. I have to get up into the higher elevations to get a chance to hear it myself. So that's the bighorn sheep carrying on their mating ritual, but at the same time, they've got to watch out for their predator who has ears attuned to that kind of sound as well. The predator for the bighorn sheep and for the mule deer and for several of the other large species here, the mountain lion, Puma concolor. Puma concolor has an interesting sort of mating ritual as well. It is not so much males competing as the male and the female once they find each other. Now, when there's a female who gets in the mood, the female will signal to any male mountain lions in the vicinity with a sound that is unforgettable. They will have a pretty interesting mating experience. It doesn't last long, a few minutes, but it will happen up to 50 or more times a day. Whew, no wonder it's only a day or two in their lives that they experience each other. That has got to take a lot out of you. Well, as we think of love, Red Rock style, some of those stories are not very positive from our perspective. All the fighting and the paralyzing and all the rituals that the different animals go through, and then sometimes they leave and there's no long-lasting relationship we can talk about, but there is an exception to that rule. If you look up in the sky over Red Rock Canyon, you might see some of the eagles. The yearlings will fly around and find a yearling that looks kind of attractive for whatever eagles are looking at, and the two will hit it off and they will decide to mate. Here's the good news: the mating eagles generally stay together in that relationship for the remainder of their lives. There we have a role model up in the sky that we can aspire to. Because you know, a lot of species here, a lot of rituals, a lot of mating ideas and stories, but we're human. What about us? Now, I'm not going to talk about the mating rituals and the nuts and bolts, but I will tell you that here in Red Rock Canyon, relationships between humans, very important idea, because we have weddings almost every day. Happy couples walking down the, well, it's not really an aisle, but it is a trail. It is a lovely spot in the most beautiful part of southern Nevada, and couples love it. Their memories are begun here, and hopefully they will last a lifetime, like the memories of the eagles soaring rather than some of the other species that we've talked about. So there you have it. Love Red Rock style. From the smallest little wasp, the Pepsis, up to the huge bighorn sheep, the mountain lions, and most importantly, us, Homo sapiens right here in Red Rock Canyon, beginning their relationships and being part of love, Red Rock style. How about you? Come on out in the springtime and see what's going on around you. Keep an ear out for those bighorn sheep later in the year. Keep your eye out for the smaller little critters getting together and enjoying springtime. Love Red Rock style.